We are currently living through the greatest theft in human history, but there are no sirens and no police reports. It isn't your physical property that's being stolen. It's your cognitive sovereignty. In the modern economy, your focus is the most valuable currency you own. Yet, you are likely spending it like a bankrupt man in a casino. If you cannot master where your mind goes for 4 hours a day, you will never master where your life goes for the next 40 years. Welcome to the 4-hour rule. Most people wake up and immediately surrender their brain to a glowing rectangle. They check notifications, news, and emails before they've even had a glass of water, essentially letting the world's noise dictate their internal state. By doing this, you are starting your day in a reactive posture, playing defense against an army of distractions designed to keep you small. But the elite, the top 1% of earners, thinkers, and architects of the future, play offense. They understand that mental energy is a finite resource that peaks in the morning and drains like a leaking battery by the afternoon. The 4-hour rule is a brutal but necessary standard. You dedicate the first 4 hours of your day to your most difficult high-leverage task with 0 interruptions. No phone, no meetings, no social media, no excuses. This is the period of deep work where fortunes are built and complex problems are solved. In a world of shallow thinkers, your ability to go deep is your ultimate competitive advantage. If you can win these 4 hours, the rest of the day becomes irrelevant. You will produce more tangible value in this window than the average person produces in an entire week of frantic, uncoordinated activity. This isn't just about productivity. It is about reclaiming the throne of your own mind. The primary reason most people remain financially and mentally stuck is not a lack of effort, but a lack of depth. We have been conditioned to believe that busy is a badge of honor, but in reality, being busy is often just a polite word for being out of control. Most people spend their entire workday in a state of shallow work, shuffling digital papers, answering non-urgent emails, and attending meetings that could have been a sentence. They feel exhausted by sunset, but they haven't actually moved the needle on their long-term vision. They are mistaking motion for progress, like a hamster on a wheel that works hard but goes nowhere. True wealth is created exclusively through deep work, which is the ability to focus without distraction on a task that is cognitively demanding and pushes your skills to their limit. The marketplace does not reward you for the number of hours you sit at a desk. It rewards you for the rare and valuable problems you solve. High-level problem solving requires a psychological intensity that cannot exist in an environment of constant interruption. Every time you glance at a notification or check a quick text, you pay what scientists call an attention residue tax. Even after you put the phone down, a significant part of your brain remains tethered to that last distraction. It takes nearly 20 minutes of refocusing to regain your peak cognitive state. If you interrupt yourself every 15 minutes, you are effectively living in a state of permanent mental fog. You're making yourself functionally less intelligent by choice. The 4-hour rule is designed to eliminate this tax. By carving out a sacred window where the world cannot reach you, you allow your brain to enter flow, that elite state where time disappears and your productivity multiplies by 5. In a world full of fractured minds, the person who can stay focused for 4 hours is not just a hard worker, They are a threat to the competition. You must come to terms with the fact that you are living in a predatory economy of attention. Every application on your smartphone, every streaming platform, and every social media algorithm has been engineered by thousands of the world's brightest minds with a singular, ruthless goal: to keep you scrolling. They are not just fighting for your time, they are harvesting your dopamine to fuel their bottom line. When you lose control of your focus, you're essentially allowing multi-billion-dollar corporations to farm your potential for their profit. Your brain was never evolved to handle this level of constant high-speed stimulation. We are biological machines operating with ancient software in a hyper-digital world, and the mismatch is destroying our ability to build anything of lasting value. Every notification triggers a micro-hit of dopamine, creating a neurological loop that trains your brain to seek novelty instead of results. This is why you find it agonizing to work on a business plan or a complex skill for more than 10 minutes without feeling an itch to check your phone. Your focus has been fractured by design, rendering you a spectator in a world dominated by players. The 4-hour rule is your act of cognitive rebellion. It is a biological reset that forces your brain to relearn the art of patience and concentration. By disconnecting during those first 4 hours, you are starving the distraction machine and feeding your own ambition. You are choosing to invest your mental capital in your own dreams rather than spending it on someone else's content. This isn't a mere time management tip. It is a battle for your sovereignty. Think of your focus like a spotlight. When it is wide and unfocused, it is weak. But when you narrow that beam onto a single point for hours at a time, it becomes a laser capable of cutting through the toughest obstacles. The 4-hour rule is rooted in a fundamental truth that most people ignore. Wealth is built on proactive decisions, not reactive responses. Most of the population spends their entire lives reacting to the demands of others. They react to a ringing phone, an incoming text, or an urgent request that serves someone else's agenda. When you live in a constant state of reaction, you are a passenger in your own life, helping others build their mansions while your own future remains a blueprint gathering dust in the dirt. Proactive individuals understand the brutal reality of opportunity cost. They know that every minute spent on a low-value activity is a minute permanently stolen from their legacy. They guard their schedule with a ferocity that others often find offensive, but they aren't unavailable because they are arrogant. They are unavailable because they are occupied with the work that actually moves the needle. This is the hallmark of the self-made elite. They have mastered the art of being productively antisocial. When you implement your 4 hours of deep work, you are effectively buying back your future and putting a down payment on the freedom you haven't yet achieved. This requires a radical shift in your self-image. You have to stop seeing yourself as a cog in a machine and start seeing yourself as the chief engineer of your own destiny. An engineer doesn't get distracted by the noise of the engine. They focus on the design that makes the entire system run. This is why the morning is so critical. Before the world starts demanding your time and draining your energy, you have a window of silence where your willpower is at its absolute peak. If you spend that precious willpower on trivial decisions like what to wear, what to eat, or what is happening on the news, you are bankrupting your mind before the day has even started. Save your energy for the big moves. Your bank account is simply a lagging indicator of how well you have managed your attention over the last 12 months. Your biology is either the wind at your back or the wall in your way. The highest level of cognitive output is not a matter of willpower alone. It is a matter of timing. Most people try to fight their own nature by attempting their most difficult work late in the day, fueled by artificial stimulants and the anxiety of looming deadlines. But the science of the morning fortress is undeniable. When you wake up, your brain is in a state of high plasticity. Your cortisol levels are naturally optimized for alertness, and your willpower battery is fully charged. The 4-hour rule works because it aligns your highest leverage tasks with your peak biological energy. If you wait until the afternoon to tackle your most important project, you are trying to climb a mountain with an empty tank. By then, you've already suffered from decision fatigue, having spent your mental clarity on 1,000 insignificant choices. High performers do the exact opposite. They front-load their intensity. They understand that if they can tackle the big frog first thing in the morning, they create a psychological momentum that carries them through the rest of the day. This isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart by using your brain's natural rhythms to your advantage. While the rest of the world is still struggling to wake up, hitting the snooze button, and drowning in digital noise, you have already completed your primary objective. You have already won the day before most people have even started theirs. This alignment of biology and business is what creates sustainable, long-term success without the burnout that plagues the distracted masses. You realize that time management is a myth. The only thing that exists is energy management. If you can protect and direct your energy for 4 focused hours, you can outperform those working 14 hours in a state of distraction. Efficiency is the ultimate weapon of the elite. The 4-hour rule is not just a productivity strategy, it is a philosophy of self-respect and a declaration of war against mediocrity. It is the profound realization that if you do not value your own time, the world will never value your existence. You have been granted a finite amount of cognitive energy and a strictly limited number of days on this earth. How you choose to spend those first 4 hours of your morning determines whether you are an architect building a lasting legacy or merely a tenant maintaining someone else's empire. Stop being so accessible to everyone and everything that doesn't contribute to your mission. Build your fortress of solitude. Protect your focus with your life. Master the art of deep work until it becomes your second nature. The wealth, the freedom, and the autonomy you are chasing are not missing. They are simply hidden behind the difficult work you are currently avoiding in favor of a cheap hit of dopamine from your phone. You must have the courage to disconnect from the trivial, to reconnect with your true purpose. If you can win the battle for your attention in a world that is designed to keep you distracted, you have already won the game of life. The 4-hour rule is your path to the 1%. If you are ready to stop being busy and start being truly productive, join our circle of high performers. Subscribe and activate the notification bell to ensure you stay aligned with the principles that build real power. Your journey to absolute sovereignty starts with the very next sunrise. Take full control of your mind. Protect your hours. Build your kingdom.